Alright, so today I want to break down something that has allowed me to make a bunch of money, and it's not a secret step-by-step game plan on how to make your first million or something like that. It's more so like a mental shift, a mental thing I had to do that really allowed me to just boost my income and just make, now it's 3-4 times more ever since I've made that decision to sort of have a mindset shift. And it's around the fact that I bought a AMG. All right, that's a C43 AMG. If you ask me why I didn't get the 63, yes, I could afford it, but I want all-wheel drive. Okay, that is worth more than me. And I live in Montreal where it's snowy as hell, and I am not gonna drive a non-all-wheel drive car. You know, that's not something I'm gonna do. And I honestly love the car. Like, I could not ask for a better car. I'm not that much of a car guy, but I do like nice cars, fast cars, and this one's it's fast enough for me. I love it, okay? So I have nothing to complain about the car in itself. Essentially, I want to give you guys like a quick story on why I bought the car and how the car helped me make 4 times my income before I actually bought the car. So I bought the car like maybe almost a year ago, like last November, and I would say maybe 3 months before I bought the car, I got to meet a very successful entrepreneur here in Montreal, and he invited me to like one of his like parties he was doing. It was like a networking event where there was a bunch of entrepreneurs in there. At the time, I was making, I think, 50K per month, like 30 to 50K, something like that. It was going up and down, but I was making like decent amount of money, you know, I wasn't broke. And when I got to the party, I started meeting like other people and like, you know, sort of understanding what are they doing to make money, what kind of cars are they driving, like who has a Rolex, who doesn't, you know, like stuff like that. Because there were people with Rolexes, people with nice cars and stuff like that. So I was curious. I'm like, this guy's driving like this crazy Mercedes, crazy BMW, like how much is he making, you know, to be able to afford a car like that? That's how I used to think. And back then I was driving my Honda Civic. It was a 2016 Honda Civic. It was my very first car. It had the cracked windshield, the brakes were squeaky as hell, but other than that, the car was driving like pretty well. And essentially I started talking with that entrepreneur, the guy who hosted everything, and he asked me a very good question. He told me, he's like, so Oliver, how does it feel to be making, you know, like 40K per month? And I looked at him and I told him, I'm like, honestly, it doesn't feel any different than when I made my first 1K, 2K, 3K, 5K per month. And he's like, how come? And I'm like, well, I don't know. My life hasn't really changed, you know. Yes, I'm making more money, but in itself, I'm doing the same exact things. You know, I'm taking calls, I'm working with people, I'm growing my team. And he asked me a good question. And he told me, he's like, are you living a 40K per month lifestyle? And I looked at him and I told him, no, I don't think so. And he's like, how has your life changed from, let's say, 10K a month to 40K per month? Like, what are you doing differently in your life that has positively impacted you, like shown you that you are successful? And I told him, like, nothing. I'm like, I have the same apartment, the same everything. And I'm a very, like I'm not a flashy guy. Like, I don't really care about the fancy clothes and stuff like that. You know, I just want to make a bunch of money. That's all I care about. And after he asked me that question, I told him, like, nothing changed really. And he told me, well, that's why you don't really feel any different. You don't feel any more successful, because I told him that I'm like, I don't know, like I'm making 10K, 20K, 30K, and then I'm going up to 40, 50K, and I'm like, it doesn't feel any different. Like, and I'm like, when does it start to change? You know, when do you start feeling rich? That's basically what I asked him. And he told me, he's like, you're gonna start feeling rich when you actually spend that money and you sort of put yourself in a mindset of like, I'm someone who drives an AMG, I'm someone who wears a Rolex, I'm someone who's living in a penthouse, I'm someone who's, you know, until you have those things, you can identify yourself with those things, you're always going to feel like you're not actually there yet, you know. Anyways, after that conversation, I kind of made a bet with him. Not a bet, but I told him, I'm like, look, if I make this much money at my birthday, I'll buy a car, which was in November, which is why I got the car in November. So I ended up buying the AMG. And what he said, although you could say it's like superficial of me of saying like, oh, because I drive the AMG, I'm more successful than everyone else. But at the end of the day, if having an AMG is what motivates you to work harder, and it proves to you that you're actually able to accomplish something, and it makes you feel like you're almost like superior than other people, which again might be a bad thing, but you do have to have like that sense of like, I deserve better than most people. I want to make more than most people, and I truly believe that I deserve more. And by you driving an AMG or buying a Rolex or whatever you want to sort of splurge on and buy once you start making money with your business, if it helps you sort of elevate your status, and it makes you feel better of yourself, and because of that you work harder, I would say go for it. If you are contemplating buying something, I mean, that is the move, okay? Now, if you're broke and you never started a business and you're not making money online, do not buy anything, okay? You don't deserve it. But as soon as you start making money, don't be like me, where you're trying to save everything and just like not reinvest it and not spend the money and actually like live with it. A good comparison is like when you go out and you dress well. You know, when you're just wearing a t-shirt like this, like you don't care. But if you wear something nice, a nice dress shirt or suit or something, you go out in public, automatically you kind of feel like you're the man, you know, like you're the top G and you're walking around and everything. And it's that feeling that you sort of want to constantly have, because when you feel on top of the world, that is when you work best, and that is when you like strive for just like amazing things. Like you don't cap yourself to whether it be like an income level or an objective or whatever. You aim for the absolute top and the best, and you have to feel the best in order to be able to do that. If you're making 50K a month but you're driving a Honda Civic, like what's gonna motivate you to make even more money? Because you're like, what's the point? You know, if I make 100K, I'm still gonna drive a Honda Civic. If I make 200K, like I'm still gonna be the same Oliver, the same person I was when I first got the Honda Civic. And you have to destroy that old version of yourself, okay? Because that old version is not capable of making a bunch of money, but the new version is. And if the old version's identity is tied with the car or with the clothes or the watch or whatever that piece of item might be for you, you have to find a way to eliminate it and also replace it with something that boosts your self-image. Okay? The better self-image you have of yourself, the higher likelihood of you pushing yourself to really accomplish amazing things. All right, so I hope this was good. This is not a video that's encouraging people to just take out loans and buy a bunch of cars and stuff like that, but rather if you've seen some sort of success and you haven't really changed your lifestyle, make that leap. Buy that first dumb purchase, and don't view it as like a dumb thing, but rather as like something that can actually help you elevate and further progress your career, your image, and everything else. All right, that's gonna be all. Peace. People are looking at me weird recording in my car, but it is what it is, you know. They don't want an online YouTube channel like I do. But yeah, best of luck with everything, and we'll see you on the next video.